Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So I am doing another hashtag. This one is called Good Mood Decks. Hashtag Good Mood Decks. And this was by Marine of the Waves of Your Soul channel. And I just seen this earlier today and I thought, you know what? I was looking for a couple of hashtags to do because they're fun and because I just wanted to connect a little bit. I enjoy watching other people's hashtags as well. So these are not in any kind of order. They're just as I grab them. So this one I had made a bag for with my Cricut, yes, hair on it. Because I have doggies. Drives me crazy, but it is what it is. The Hermit Tarot. This is such a funny, can also be hard-hitting, like so, deck, but it's like snarky and it's just, even when it's like a harder message, it's still, it gives me good vibes. You see, I mean, this is the deck, like I've talked about a couple of times, that when Courtney and I were doing readings for her, and we tried to restructure it to get a more clear question, response, and it said, I just can't even look at you right now. We both had to just friggin' laugh and say, and walk away, say, okay, we got what we were going to get, so... You know, and I had originally seen this on Lady Knight of Avalon's channel. So, I really like using this deck. And the lady that created this deck, she actually has a YouTube channel called The Hermit Tarot. And she does... You know, I was just talking when I did the casual chat with Julie from Peekaboo Rose about, we had talked about like pick a card readings, right? And how there are some out there that are just not good. Hers, she is one of the bigger channels and she does fabulous pick a card readings. I highly enjoy her readings. So another one kind of comes in, like they're kind of very similar themes to me. These are witchy decks that I just love using. They always put me in such good energy because the artwork is just phenomenal. I always get such good vibes from this deck because the artwork is just right up my alley. It's just so beautiful. And I love the way that this shuffles. Let's see if I can... Now that I'm going to try to shuffle, watch. I'll probably do an epic failure. See, it just shuffles so good. And I edged it in like a gray, like a silver. But this is Terry Foss and Sarah Foss Robinson. I believe that's her daughter. Artwork. It's just phenomenal. This is the kind of artwork I could definitely have all over my walls. Or like a mural on one of my walls. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. How can you not be in a good mood when you're using this deck? I don't even think that's possible. So this is called Earthly Souls and Spirits Oracle. Love it. Another one in that witchy, magical themed decks. And all three of these that I'm showing are Oracle. I love Oracle, guys. And when I think of happy and good vibes, I get that more from Oracle decks. And empowerment, I think, from Oracle decks. And encouragement. And and validation from oracle decks rather than tarot decks. That's why I think it's always a good combination to add them together, you know, so you're getting both. Not that oracle decks cannot give it to you straight. They can, but I find that they are more uplifting than a tarot reading. And maybe that's just my own perception of what I put on it, but I love this deck. This is actually the deck that I'm currently using in my journaling right now. The artwork is gorgeous. I love this. It just feels obviously so witchy to me. I mean, how can it not? But magical, and although I can use easily just the keyword, I love delving into the book and seeing what it says about it. That's another thing about Oracle that I love. I love the different systems and reading what these beautiful creators are putting. I like seeing the cards through their eyes. So this is another deck that just gives me good mood vibes. I mean, find your magic. And then the other one. This one, I get really good vibes from this one. This is the Compendium of Witches Oracle by Natasha Hellenic. I hope I said that correctly. This is such beautiful quality. This was an indie deck. I think all of these were actual indie decks. This one, like, I got this from US Games or Make Playing Cards. I can't remember where I got it. So this particular, I like this part of it. I think it's beautiful. But the part of this deck that I love so much is this part. All these are different witches from different time periods, different cultures, different stories that are made up about them. This feels like when I use this deck, I feel like I am getting guidance from one of these mystics or teachers, oracle. And it's like reaching into that sisterhood, that historical sisterhood of, you know, fellow witches and explorers and priestesses. And yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic. And it's not super in depth. The book is not like super in depth. It's just enough. It's just enough to give you that beautiful guidance, take you to a different time. You know, like you have your council of witches helping you out. It's just really cool. And I always leave after using this deck with such good feelings, good vibes, for sure. So that's 3 more. So another deck that I love and I always get such wonderful good vibes from it is the Tarot of Light by Denise Jarvie and Tony Carmine Salerno. I did modify mine. I haven't edged it, but I did chop it down and corner it. And this is such a beautiful soft deck. I love like the keywords that are on all of these. It feels like when I use this deck, it just takes me up. I feel like I'm raising my vibration when I use this deck. It just touches me like in the feels for sure, but in such a good and uplifting spiritual and yeah. I mean, it's hard to put into words exactly. Look at that. Wow. So beautiful. Two of Stars. This deck is so beautiful. I mean, that's even like the most soft Emperor ever. You know, I don't normally see the Emperor soft. That is like a soft Emperor for me. Yeah, the Teacher. That's the Hierophant right there. You see? So, that's another one. Now, let's see. I have to do this one, of course. The Light Seers. I do have the Indie. I don't have it pulled out. So, I love this deck so much. Even when the messages are harder, it's just easier to swallow. I understand it better. Oh my God, look at her vibes. Man, can you not feel that chemistry, that alchemy in process? I just get such good vibes. Cheery. I feel cheery after using this deck. For the most part. I'm not going to say always. Depending on the subject matter, of course. But in general, this artwork feels like it is very community-oriented. Very, you know, brotherhood, sisterhood. I mean, look at that. Look at the sun. Even the devil is so alluring. Wow. Look at him. Yeah, baby. I love that Hierophant. Yes. Gosh, yes. Look at that Ace of Wands. This is my favorite Ace of Wands ever. Right there. How can you not feel good vibes from that? Look at the Seven of Wands, man. Finding like your Zen space when you've got all these wands coming at you and just knowing that you gotta stand your ground, but nobody says it has to be in, it can just simply be by setting up boundaries, personal boundaries, right? This one feels more like resting within like Mama Bird's nest. I have this thing with the Four of Swords, and this one just feels like, listen, I am like, I am comforted here. I'm just taking a rest out. It's been a rough day, right? Rather than, you know, the alternative, which is like the RWS imagery. And, well, other ones too. I just don't like the imagery in a lot of them. So, I mean, look at how zen this dude is. I love this King of Pentacles. He is just, he's just everything. You can feel the movement of this card big time. You can feel it, the dancing and the just, gosh. This is one of my all-time favorite moon cards. And then when you read the book for this deck is just phenomenal. Oh, I feel that enthusiasm. I feel her enthusiasm. Yeah, this is just a really good vibes deck for me. You know, good mood kind of deck. So when I am in a good mood, this is one of the decks that I turn to. Just because it just feels like that cheery, good, light. But this is the first deck, I will say also, that because she looks at it from the light seers, the light side, and the shadow side, that I stopped looking at reversals in a certain manner. I was able to look at any card with the upright and the shadow side of it in any situation, in anything. It doesn't have to be in reverse. The card doesn't have to be in reverse for me to you know, see it, which most people probably already do that, but this was the deck that really did that for me, and that it wasn't like this horrible thing, you know, but, and that you don't have to put it in reverse. At least I don't have to. So another one that I love is the Oracle of Mermaids. I had previously cut this down and edged it in the purple, and gosh, I just feel so good. These are such beautiful creatures, and I've always been fascinated with mere people, mermaids, stories of, you know, mermaids, My Little Mermaid, Splash, and Atlantis, and yeah. So this deck definitely puts me in a good place right out of the gate, regardless of what the subject matter is, because I love the whole theme of this deck. There are other decks that I have that are also mermaid that I love, but look at how gorgeous. I mean, she is so beautiful. Yeah. I love this beautiful deck. And I always I feel like I kind of connect when it's a deck that needs, I feel like that needs modification. I connect with it so much better. It feels that much more special to me. And the next deck is very similar in that regard. And I got them both around the same time, I believe, which is the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. I also modified this one and also edged it in purple. I was going through definitely a purple theme. But also, I mean, the cards, you know, it needs it, I thought. But I love the fairy world too, the Fae world. I feel very connected to it. As a matter of fact, the first goddess I ever really connected with was Danu, who was the mother of the Tuatha De Danann. And I know I did not say that right. I can never say their names properly, but who were like the fairy race. I had no idea. I just knew I was really attracted to that goddess. And then the more and more I started learning about, you know, the Tuatha De Danann and Fae, it was just like an instant connection for me. And I love this deck. It's so cheerful and just beautiful. I love the stories. It is Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Selena Fanich. So this is another one of those happy, good mood kind of decks. Here is another one. Oops. I love botanicals. I love botanical art. These are such beautiful, simple, straightforward messages. The aesthetic is beautiful. I love working with herbs and botanicals and nature and gardening. And I want to do more in that regard. So these cards always just bring a smile to my face, and really just an appreciation for nature. And all of it's just complete beauty. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than nature. And even when I was doing my art, my jewelry, it was nature that inspired so much of it, the different colors of nature. Like when I would do green on top of green on top of green, it's like the different shades of green in the grass and the trees and, you know, the bushes and the foliage from the flowers, the botanicals, the herbs. It's just so lush and decadent. And then you see what the animal, or what the flowers bring, which is the bees and butterflies, dragonflies. It's just a beautiful world. So it definitely puts me in a very, very, I don't even want to say happy, but just really good, very, very good place to be, a good space to be in. Now, another one, here is a couple that are, I'm really loving. I guess I could put this one too, but so the Victorian Romantic. This is my first and only Baba Studios deck. And gosh, man, the artwork is just so stunning. I mean, even the backs, look at the backs. It is just a privilege to be able to read with such beauty. This art is right up my alley. This is probably like along this lines right here. These 3 decks, which you'll see in a minute. These are like my most loved aesthetic when it comes to art. I'm not even sure what kind of art this is. And I have a very eclectic eye. I am a very visual person and I love many different kinds of art. But this, and this are like my number ones for sure. And I'm not sure if you're seeing like the depth that is in these cards because of the lighting. But, oh, I'm just in love. Love, love, love. So, I mean, I guess when it's like something that I'm really trying to figure out dark-wise, oh my God, just really? That's so beautiful. I don't even turn to this deck for that. This is like this is different. This is a deck for just like wanting to do a spread kind of thing. Seeing where it takes me, not when I'm in like dire need. Which honestly, I don't use tarot that way anyways for myself personally, because it's still, I still rely on my own inner voice most of the time for things. But this is probably not the one that I would turn to for like major, at least not yet. It's still a newer deck to me. But I am always in a good mood when I am using this particular deck, because I'm just so grateful to have this kind of art to read with. It just takes me away to a different time. You know, I love like romance novels and historical, learning like, oh gosh, like Renaissance time, learning about, gosh, and I love this one. This one is the revival art. I love this so much. This makes me think of like Little Women, Les Miserables, gosh, just different. This takes me away to our founding fathers kind of thing, that time with the wigs. This makes me think of not Peter Pan, but Midsummer, no, Tuck Everlasting. That's what it makes me think of. Wow. This one makes me think of definitely like Greek and Roman, like households. The art, my gosh. Like signing of documents and a cobbler. Wow. This makes me think of like a Southern Belle kind of thing. See that damn Four of Swords. It haunts me. I cannot stand that. Sorry. That, oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. See? All right, let me get on. I'm sorry. I know this is going to be forever because I just get lost in this artwork. And for me, many times, the happiness part comes from just being able to soak myself into and escape into those worlds. I mean, the movies that I loved growing up was like Gone with the Wind, Cleopatra, and those were before my time, but Excalibur, just like time period pieces, you know? Clash of the Titans, and this is the other deck that is like this. This is the Hellenic Oracle. You know, I really want the Tarot of Delphi, and I feel very connected to the Oracle of Delphi and Pythia. And this particular deck, like I said, is called the Hellenic Oracle, and it was created by, I think it's pronounced Theia, and her channel is Garden Goddess Tarot channel. She created this, well, I mean, she used the artwork, you know, public domain artwork to create this oracle deck, and this is just like my aesthetic. Oh, wow. I just love this so much. So Courtney and I are going to be doing a study with this as well. We're doing the Thoth right now, and then we are doing the Tarot of Vampires, and then we are going to do this particular deck because I can't really use this deck yet because I don't know that much about Greek mythology. I mean, just little bits here and there. I don't know enough in order to really use these cards, other than the images, of course. But so we want to do a study. We're going to do a study, and we are going to go through each one of these different gods, and we are going to choose like a keyword or whatever and learn about all of these different characters, excuse me, in Greek mythology. Oh my gosh, just beautiful. There she is, Pythia. Beautiful. I love that art. Look at that. Arrows. Theia did such a beautiful job when I seen her walk through. And you know what? I will put a link down below to the video where she shows a walkthrough of this and the link on where you can get it. And it's just so stunning. So I will put that down below in the description. But this deck makes me happy just to be able to, even though I'm not using it yet, just to be able to go through it. But I want to, like I said, put keywords for each one of these. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And this was like one of those cases that I got from Prisma Visions or whatever it was. I ordered it and I was thinking about this particular deck, and it just works perfect. And these wraps are like $15 from James R. Eads website. So I love it. All right, and I have 2 more decks that I held out on these decks for so long. I didn't think I was going to get them, to be honest with you. And then I seen them again, and it was even after I seen both of these Kickstarters, and I didn't back in either of the Kickstarters because I'm just not an animal tarot kind of person. I am definitely an animal oracle person, but I'm not an animal tarot person. And when I seen these decks, at first I was like, well, you know, I don't think I can do it. But And even my taste in collage decks has really, I wasn't into collage decks when I started, and then after getting the Divine Muses, that opened up things for me. Now it's got to be the right kind of collage, the right kind of coloring and all that, and I know that there is another one that's currently on Kickstarter in the line of this. I'm not getting that. I'm perfectly fine with these two decks. But the color is just so beautiful. The backs are so beautiful. The gilding on the decks is so stunning, unlike anything else. And the box is beautiful. I love the size, love the ribbons. I just love everything about these two decks. They are phenomenal. I love that there is the astrological information and associations, you know, on the cards. That is a big plus for me. And I don't use this deck necessarily for the artwork, but it does open up other things. But it's not like your traditional artwork by any means. But I ain't mad at that. I was surprised that how much I loved this and wanted to use it. Every time I'm like getting a new reading, I'm thinking, can I use those decks? Can I use those? So there's that one. And this one is the Journey of the Sacred Bee. And this is tarot. And then the other one is the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Oracle. And I love the colors. I love that. I mean, look at that. Gilded purple edging. Wow. Yeah. The backs are purple. Oh my gosh. Really? Expansion, just one word. And then you can expand on that with what you see in the images. And this has not ever been my aesthetic, and now I love it. I love the colors. This puts me in a happy, good mood. I mean, who would have thought that would be so beautiful? The colors. Insects, right? Flies and bees and decaying roses, but it's just beautiful. So I love that she's also got like you know, sun, fire, stuff like that. Yeah, earth, abundance. Yeah, okay. See what I mean? It's just, yeah, you just can't go wrong. So I think that I covered, I think I got them all. You're like, thank God. So yes, like I said, this was a brand new hashtag that was just started today, actually. Well, it might be tomorrow or sometime soon by the time I actually release this video. But this was called Good Mood Decks. Not necessarily your hug decks, but just good mood kind of decks. When you use them, it's just, you're already kind of like in that good mood. She explains better. And the original video came from Maureen at the Waves of Your Soul channel. And I will be putting a link down below to her actual video on this. And I hope you join in as well. And thank you for spending this time with me. And I am sending you love always. Thank you.